Hi guys, Caboozles here of Team Rhino, giving you a deck profile for my take on Odd Eyes Magicians. Now, this is something to remember. This is a budget version of the deck, but saying that, I've had a lot of success with this deck against even the more expensive one that runs the Mist Valley Apex Avians and things like that. So in this deck, you won't be seeing Apex Avians, and even though the fusion card's a bit cheaper, I don't think you have to run it. I've seen people side copies of it and things like that, but I just, to be honest, I've been having a lot of success without it. I may test it a bit more in the future when I have more funds to try more cards, but as it's going, this is pretty good, and it's similar to a build that got third place at a regional, I believe, in America. I'll try and link that in the description to show you guys about it. Just to show that Odd Eyes Magicians can be a really good deck without spending all the money in it. So, without further ado, let's get on to the main deck. So first of all, this is an Odd Eyes deck, so of course I'm going to run 3 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. This is the janky one, obviously, because cheap deck. So put him in your Pendulum Zone. At the end phase, you can destroy him and add 1 Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand with 1500 or less attack. So he's great. He can help you search scales, things like that. It's actually just a really good card. Helps add for consistency. And on top of that, it's a beat stick at 25, and obviously it's a level 7, so you can overlay and things like that, and you can synchro with him using certain cards. So next, probably the best one of the deck, Dragon Pit Magician. He's a vanilla. He lets you pitch a pendulum card from your hand to destroy one of your opponent's back row. So it's great for pushing for those OTKs, making sure that you can actually get through all your opponent's defenses, which is what this deck's about. It's kind of an OTK-based deck. So then I run 1 Dragon Pulse. The more expensive builds don't run this card generally. He lets you discard a Pendulum monster to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Again, he can just help you push for those OTKs, get out of problem cards that are in the way. And he's level 4 with 1800, so he sort of builds on the rank 4 engine, and I like him in here at the moment. But I guess you could cut him if you wanted to. 1 Zanky Magician, or Zanky, Shang. I have no idea how you pronounce it. Level 7, so obviously you can use him for overlays. 2500 attacks, pretty good. His effect's pretty decent, because during either player's turn, you can target 1 light monster on the field and negate that face-up monster's effect to the end of the turn. Which is good. And his pendulum effect is that you can target an Xyz monster you control and use it for an Xyz summon using its level as if it was a rank, which is quite nice. So it's alright. I'd only run it at 1, wouldn't run it at more, to be honest. Then 3 Oath Dragon. He's sort of your go-to lower scale in this deck. He's a fairly decent card. His effect is that if you have a Magician card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can add one face-up Magician, Odd Eyes, or Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand, except... Magician, Odd Eyes, or... Yeah, Magician or Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck to your hand. Which is pretty decent. So it's not too bad. He's a level 6, which is kind of annoying with this deck, because you'd rather him be level 7. And if he's normal or special summoned, you can target 1 Pendulum monster or Odd Eyes monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Now that can be useful, because obviously you're discarding cards for a few of these effects. So it's nice to summon him, because you get to get them back and start Pendulum summoning and things with them and recycling them. Then 3 Wisdom Eye Magician. I really like this guy. I think he's pretty good. His Pendulum effect is, if you have a Magician or Performer Power card in your other Pendulum Zone, you can destroy this card, and if you do, place 1 Pendulum monster from your deck, not 1 Magician Pendulum monster from your deck into your Pendulum Zone, except this card. Which is great. It lets you load up your extra deck for those mass summons, which is what you want. Also, you can discard him to target 1 card in your Pendulum Zone whose Pendulum Scale is different from its original Pendulum Scale, and its Pendulum Scale becomes its original to the end of the turn. I haven't actually used that effect of it, but I'm sure it could be useful if somehow your scales did change. I can think of a few other decks that could work in, but then the Pendulum effect doesn't really work with other decks. Then 1 Noble Dragon Magician. She's your tuner. Really great card. I really like her, actually. I mean, her Pendulum effect is not very good, because it's just destroy it if you don't have another Magician card in your Pendulum Zone. But its effect's interesting. It can only be used for the synchro material of a dragon-type synchro monster, so you notice I only run dragon-type synchros. But also, if it's used for synchro material for... unless all other synchro materials are odd-eyes monsters, you have to place this card at the bottom of the deck, which is annoying. So how that works is, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target one level 7 or higher odd-eyes monster you control, reduce its level by 3, and if you do special summon this card. So the graveyard part, that's great, because obviously if you've pitched it for other effects, then you can use that. So if you've got your odd-eyes Pendulum Dragon on the field, which is what you want to use this with, you can bring it out and then synchro summon with that. One Magispector Unicorn Kieran. This is a great card. It lets you can target one Pendulum monster in your monster zone and one monster your opponent controls, return them to the hand. You can only use it once per turn, and it can't be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's effect. To be honest, I would actually run this at 2. I'm running at 1 at the moment because I'm testing out this card, but I think it's a really great card. I definitely run it at 2. It's kind of like your pseudo Miss Valley Apex Avian, but yeah, I really like it, and I don't think the Avian's necessary. So this is the other card I'm teching in for now, just as just sort of as a placeholder until I find another Kieran, because I don't actually have one at the moment. But this is going pretty well for me. So this card's effect is, it's called Samurai Cavalry of Reptier. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's face-up monster that's not a Pendulum monster, you can destroy that monster. So it's kind of like a mini construct. It's quite nice. It can get over a lot of sort of annoying cards. So yeah, I like it in there at the moment. Then we've got 3 Performer Power Skullcrabat Joker. This card is great. He's the Stratos of the deck, the Searcher card. So when this card's normal summoned, you can add 1 Performer Power monster, Magician Pendulum monster, or Odd Eyes monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. So that's amazing. So you want to be adding him back to your hand whenever you can, and whenever you normal summon him, you get to add 1 from your deck to your hand. Its pendulum effect is just sort of generic. It's a scale 8, which is nice though. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except Performer Power monsters, Magician monsters, and Odd Eyes monsters. So yeah, but it's great. Now we're sort of moving on to the Performage engine. So 3 Plush Fire. This is such a great card. There's so many ways in which it can float or special summon cards from your deck. So I like had this card for ages and didn't really know what it did, and when I found out, I was like, shit, that is actually pretty damn good. So it's a scale 5. Its pendulum effect is, if a Performage monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your pendulum zone, then take 500 damage. You can only use the effect of Plush Fire once per turn. That's fine. Then its monster phase, its monster effect is, if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Performage monster from your hand or deck, except that. So that's great. You can go into your Clowns or any other Performage card in your deck, and it's just a really decent card. It really helps you float and have that whole sort of stalling factor. Another one is Damage Juggler. Oh my god, is this card good in terms of just stopping battle phase attacks, negating anything that would do you damage, and also when the grave it can search. It's just an all-round amazing card. It's the best of the Clowns. I know at first when you're a newer player you don't necessarily see that. I mean, I didn't see that, but seriously, read this card, and the amount of times it's so useful just to discard it, help you survive that turn, because there's a lot of OTK decks, and this card is just so good at the moment. 1 Mirror Conductor. He's alright. I haven't found that many uses for him at the moment. He's a scale 3. His pendulum effect is, once per turn you can target 1 face-up special summon monster on the field. Its attack and defense become equal to its current attack and defense, whichever is lower, until the attack or defense, whichever is lower, to the end of the turn. So that's reasonable. Lets you get over big things. And then its monster effect is, once per turn during either player's turn, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field, switch its current attack and defense, then take 500 damage. So that's quite nice as well. Can be useful. 1 Trick Clown, because it's Trick Clown. Obviously, he floats, keeps coming back. He's quite a nice rank 4 engine. And that's it for the monsters, actually. So now we'll bring you to the spell cards. 3 Pendulum Call. This card is just amazing. So discard 1 card, add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. Also, until the end of your opponent's next turn after this card resolves, Magician cards in your Pendulum zone cannot be destroyed by card effects, and you can only activate 1 of it per turn. Discard 1 card to search 2 It's just amazing. There's so many combos with this card, and not only that, it protects your scales, so this is just brilliant. Only play this at 3. This is one of the reasons the deck's so good. One of the other reasons is Sky Iris, which I'm running at 2. But it is a great card. Its effect is, it's a field spell. Its effect is Magician, Performer Pal, and Odd Eyes cards in your Pendulum zones can't be targeted by opponent's card effects. You can target one other face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, add one Odd Eyes card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Sky Iris once per turn. So I use this to add Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon from my deck to my hand, because you want to get him as quickly as possible, really. And the reason I only run one of this is because I also run 1 Chicken Game and 2 Terraforming. Now, the reasoning behind this particular get-up is, basically, I want to open Sky Iris as much as I can, because it's a great card, it helps you search Odd Eyes, and it's just really good. But on top of that, I don't want to open 2 copies of it. So this is a way of maximising the chances that you're going to get one, but also you're unlikely to get 2. So hopefully you'll either open 1 and a Terraforming, or even 2 Terraformings, or a Chicken Game and 1. So this will help you actually get that going, and then obviously the Chicken Game will let you plus, or yeah, so hopefully the ideal thing would be to open Chicken Game and either Terraforming or Sky Iris, because you use this, draw a card, and then play Sky Iris on top of it. Yeah, and I'm finding that works out really well for me. Then I play 3 Wavering Eyes, because it's a pendulum deck, and Wavering Eyes is just fantastic. I'm sure you don't really need an explanation on it. It's just a brilliant card. And same really with Instant Fusion, gives you Northern access, so helps your rank floor players. So now we'll move on to the extra deck. So we'll start off with the Odd Eyes cards. So I run 2 Meteor Burst and 2 Absolute and 1 Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. So usually the first one I'll go into is this Meteor Burst Dragon. It's kind of like an Armades, so your opponent can't activate cards when you attack, which is amazing. But the best thing to do is go into this and then overlay it to get out an Absolute Dragon. So what happens is when one of your card attacks, you can use Absolute Dragon's effect to negate that attack, detach this, and then it'll let you special summon this back using its effect, so you get both of these out in a turn, which is great. Yeah, so all of these cards are really good. This one is basically just a beat stick, to be honest, but you can summon it out with, I believe, this guy's effect, yeah, because if this XE summoned card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck, except itself, and you can only use it once per turn, so you can special summon this out from your extra deck. But yeah, all of these cards are amazing. They make the deck amazing, to be honest. They're really, really good. We'll move on to the more generic cards. So I run 2 Synchros, both level 7, 1 Clearwing, 1 Black Rose. Clearing is really good. Black Rose, clearing the field is always good. Then our level 7 Xyz. Big Eye steals an opponent's monster, he's great. Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon wins me so many games, because if your opponent activates a card, they have to take 500 damage. And that can really wear them down quickly. So he's just fantastic. That's all the rank 7s I play. I don't play Dracosac because I just don't think it's that relevant at the moment. Then play 1 Norden. And then rank 4s, I play Trapeze Magician for the OTKs. Dark Rebellion, also just to put a bit more damage on the board. There may be something difficult to get over, so he helps with that. 2 Castels and a Queen Dragon Djinn. She's fantastic. Love the card, love the artwork. What she does, if you don't know, is it's 2 level 4 monsters. Dragon type monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle except Queen Dragon Djinn. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card to target 1 level 5 or higher Dragon type monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. It cannot attack this turn, and its effects are negated. So obviously, she's really good at this deck. So far, I'm having quite a lot of success with the deck. I really think it is an incredibly decent deck. I'd advise anyone who can to pick up and give it a try. It really helps you get to know the pendulum mechanic. But what I will say is there's quite a high learning curve in this deck. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the easiest to just pick up and play. It's alright if you've been playing against it for a while and you know what the card's effects are. But yeah, it's a really interesting deck, and it's definitely one that I advise you guys to pick up and have a look at. So if you've got any comments, please do that, and please like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we'd like this to become a bigger channel so that we can make more videos. Thank you very much for watching.